That 3rd and 9 situation certainly warrants a lot of question marks about why the fuck is this how you guys decided to figure this out. But it absolutely pours gasoline onto the fire of the NFL being rigged and wanting Patrick Mahomes and a new dynasty back into the Super Bowl. Andy Reid taking on his old team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
What?
The Kelsey Bowl happening.
What?
If you start thinking about how great it is to have the Chiefs and the Eagles, because the Eagles had already been decided, so if they're just booking this in real time, once the Eagles go in, boom, we need the Chiefs to go in, and they're purposely fucking the Cincinnati Bengals, you can start putting some things together where you're like, I could see how that could be the case. With that being said, the amount of people that would have to be in on it, and the amount of money that all these people would have to be paid, would have to be so astronomical that they wouldn't tear down the entire league. There is certainly examples of this in the past, but the NFL, if they wanted to just throw away their league when there's only like 17 states that have legal sports gambling, when there will be at least like 46, maybe 47 states are going to have it. So you would have to think that the NFL was so good at business that they would want to rig the games to have their big superstars in the games. But you're not giving them credit to be good enough at business to have the forethought to maybe wait a couple years whenever there's a lot more money on the line. Is the NFL rigged, Shefty? And don't lie to us.
Well, Pat, breaking. It's not rigged.
No! Whoa! Put it on the ticker.
Yeah, put it on there. Not rigged.
Now, obviously, you talk about the way the game ended with a punt, and there was a potential block in the back with a big return, then the late push, and that's 15 more yards, and then the 3rd and 9 that they had to redo because there was a back ref and a wide 22 version that you see definitely come running in moments before the ball is snapped because his job is keep an eye on the clock to see if the clock is right or not. So he comes running in, doesn't blow his whistle because the NFL and a lot of people are showing he definitely ran in. It was like, did he blow his whistle? Did Cat get your dunk? Why didn't you blow your fucking whistle then if you're going to do that? I don't know what the proper procedure is for that. Could you not, after the play has already been run uninterrupted with no whistles, and they're not able to pick up the first down, now it's 4th down, which is a fucking pretty meaningful thing, turn of events there. Could you not fix the clock afterwards because you didn't stop it? Why didn't the ref just fix that afterwards? Is that something he could have done or no?
There's just no excuse. The officials will be the first to tell you. You cannot have concentration breakdowns at any level, at any game. That's part of what we do. When that occurs now, then it seemed like things started to spin fast. This play's occurred. They rehuddled again. I don't know if they're communicating with someone or not on now how do we put this back or what's the best decision, right, to do here. Do we do what you said? Look, in my backyard, that's what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Hey, guys, no, go back and rewind with all your technology. That was a 17-second play, right? Go back to 10:26 or whatever it was. Deduct 17, and then we're going again. That's what common sense is telling you to do, right? Yeah, that's in my backyard. That's not at Kansas City in that moment, and you're looking now for help in a situation that truly I don't believe I can remember a do-over, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just don't remember it. I don't remember that. So now you make another decision of how we're going to try to fix this.
I do think, though, we have a massive officiating issue. I think refs suck. Not all refs. There are some refs that suck, and they shouldn't be in playoff games. Why are they in playoff games, especially when there's only 2 games and there's going to be 50 million people watching? That's a great question. We've been talking about the officiating stinking for a long time. I got tweets from a lot of Ohio fucks over there in Cincinnati who are diehard Houday fans and Bengals fans. Why don't you use your platform, and why don't you try to make the NFL better for once? Why don't you not candy coat it, not dance around it, not be the fake funny guy that you are, and why don't you call it the NFL for officiating? So this morning, I dove through our Twitter account, and we've literally been talking about this since 2018 about how full-time refs optically would just look much better to everybody. Because you got part-time refs, and they're not full-time refs, there's a chance that they could be maybe swayed by somebody outside the NFL. Since they're not completely committed to the NFL, there's a chance that somebody outside could get a hold of them. Now, I think they get paid well, but what is well? What is the line? Especially with how much money is potentially being made off of these games and off of these deals and off these advertising deals and the sports gambling and everything like that. What is good money in comparison to? So you make them full-time, boom, we can eliminate that distraction of potentially getting swayed elsewhere. Now, Devontae Smith obviously didn't catch that ball. As soon as he stood up and started doing this, I like that they have a signal for that. I assume a lot of teams have this. Whenever you catch the ball, it's ruled a catch. You don't know if you caught it. Go ahead and go give yourself a fist bump over your head. And then what that means is we need to hurry up, get on this ball, and we are putting a play off. It's not going to be a spike. I think they probably already had a play involved. Whenever this happens, everybody on the team knows the next play, what we're running, how we're running it, it when we're running it, which is right now. And I think Shanahan should have seen that. I think anytime humans start acting in a way that they don't normally or wouldn't normally act, you should sense that something is afoot. He did not challenge that. That's obviously a massive play. They get on the board quickly thereafter, and the game just unravels from there. If he challenges that and they overturn it, does that change the outcome? Maybe. Probably not, though. Gene, how do we fix it?
You got to get better, Patty, right? It's like anything else. You just have to get better. What you said about the Michigan play, right? I don't like the fact that we're reviewing plays frame by frame. Catches look like somebody's had the ball for a light year when they haven't had the ball for a second. There's 200 plus frames per second. So, review plays at 25%, 30% slower than real time. And if it doesn't jump off the screen at you from that point on, move on. It's not a big enough play to overturn. I think we're in that a little bit, overly technical, right? So some of that gets in your head too. You're trying to get a play right in real time. Now you get reviewed in this frame-by-frame world where you know what you saw was ball movement. He doesn't possess the ball. I've got a feel for that out there. Now we go upstairs. They're click by click, 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 click. All of a sudden it's changed. It gets in your psyche a little bit. Now you're a competitor. So now how do I get to that level to get that right? Or do I become less aggressive, right? Because I'm apprehensive on that. So is there that climate or culture feeling? I think that's a possibility. So it's this fluid navigation right now of where we go with technology. Expedited review. What's an expedited review as opposed to a challengeable play? When is it clear and obvious after the second replay that now we can come in and just change it? Should we change the challenge format as a result of that? The Philly play is the play. That's the play. That's the review I lived the last 10 years, right? Long pass, some smoke right out of the gate, but don't see the ball. Right, that's how I live now. I watched the play. I was in the TV truck getting ready to go upstairs when that play hit. So you see him land, never see the ball. He's in that crumble mode. So that's smoke because I just didn't see the ball. Okay, so guess what the offense is going to do? They're going no huddle. They're running 40 yards, right? Keeping the same defensive package in. Also knowing if they go no huddle, no defensive substitute, no match, no 6 seconds of matching time to get the third replay up. So the chess match begins right in that 5 seconds. They get up there. It's early in the game. Does Coach Shanahan want to throw like now? Because if I don't get this with right, no matter what happens, I only have one more right or wrong after that. So now this whole element comes into play. And, this play, that's smoke, right? There's smoke there. All right, so now I'm looking if I'm replay. But I also only have like 5 or 6 seconds. So TV can't bring in 2 or 3 more angles than that before the snap occurs.
It was definitely a late hit out of bounds. The most impactful late hit out of bounds in the history of our sport, probably, especially when it's Patrick Mahomes and with the way these refs have been calling the game all game, which is a lot of flags. That was an obvious call. Now, Osai also hyperextends his knee and rolls his ankle at the same exact time and kills a guy on the sideline who was a part of his team. All things went bad there for Osai in a matter of, 1.8 seconds probably. Yep. Look at his ankle and his hyperextension of his knee. That is disgusting to watch. That ankle turned sideways. The fact he was even able to walk out of there, he is very lucky. He was clearly out of bounds. They call it even if you're still in bounds and they're looking to go out of bounds. So I saw some people saying, he hadn't stepped out of bounds yet. It's like, you don't watch football then. This is how it's been all year, especially with a quarterback, especially with how that crew had been calling the game, which is flags everywhere. He got dunked on by Travis Kelce.
Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
And why are we mad at that?
We shouldn't be. Are they mad? Who's mad?
People were pissed at Travis Kelce last night.
No, Cincy, AJ, what's going
What's the
on?
guy supposed to do?
People have irrational fandom, so how do you expect them to be rational in moments like this when you lose a big game?
Okay, I can respect that. We'll give them a couple days to see if they respect it or not. Nathaniel Hackett getting a gig somewhere, or somebody that you know getting a gig somewhere, does that sway you in any thoughts if the Packers were to say, we'd like to move on and you'd like to play football? Can you even answer that question at this point?
No, I can't. I mean, there's not a great answer I can give you. We all have certain coaches that meant a lot to us over the years and have created those really special rooms to play in, special feelings on game day, made the weeks better. Obviously, Nathaniel's one of those guys.
So how do you see this going? You have to figure out what you want to do, and then your first call is to the Packers, and then you let them know what you're thinking, and then they said that we'll let you know what we're thinking, and then that's kind of how the whole process will unfold, you think?
I think so. I mean, it sounds like there's already conversations going on that aren't involving me, which are interesting. Honestly, I've been insulated to a lot of that. Like I said, I was in Nashville, and then I'll be up here, this week playing in the tournament. I'm not a part of those conversations right now. When I make up my mind one way or another, then you guys and Packers, not in that order, and everybody else will know at some point.
Tom Brady has officially retired again. That man over 2 decades was able to remain at the top of the NFL. 7 Super Bowl wins, obviously. A guy that will never be matched or ever have an equal in the NFL. To just every day try and wake up and be better than you were yesterday for the good of your team, for the good of your legacy, for the good of the league.
He's relatable to everybody. You saw his body at the combine. He went 199. He got his chance, and he just prepared, worked his ass off, was coachable. So as a teammate, that's important. When you walk into a locker room and you see Tom Brady in the front of the room taking notes.
Every day of his life getting beat up and torqued on and eating avocado ice cream, which has to taste like shit, and all the food that he kind of cut out of his life so that his body could remain at the highest possible level so he could continue to compete. We have to be thankful for that fucking guy. And our league was lucky to have Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. What the Patriots were able to do, I don't think it'll ever be seen again because of how much luck, health-wise, let alone with Tom Brady. How about his left tackle, right tackle?
Exactly.
How about fucking anybody maybe getting sick on a big day? Like, the amount of luck that has to involve for a 2-decade dominant run is absurd. I don't think we'll ever see it again.
It'll never happen again. 10 Super Bowls and 7 victories.
There's no way Aaron retires now. I guess there's some people that think he is retiring. I didn't know that there's some people that genuinely believe it. I guess Aaron is still kind of torn on it. Hit a good shot at Pebble Beach this morning in the hole-in-one contest. Not as good as Manola.
Not
as good as Manola.
Not many as good as Manola.
I just learned a Manola here on the hole-in-one challenge at Pebble Beach with Jim Nancy on the call. I fucking love this guy.
But in no way, shape, or form do those guys, either one of them, probably from more of a mutual respect, like you don't want to go into the Hall of Fame together. Like they each want to be the headliner of their own class. That makes sense. I think they've both earned that.
I would say this. If Rodgers wants to be back in Green Bay, I think there's a very good chance that he's back in Green Bay. That is my guess, educated guess on the whole situation. If he says, guys, one more run, let's do it, I'm back. Hard to imagine that.
I think that's kind of breaking news, right? I think that's kind of breaking news because what's been reported by the person that you had a source off with just yesterday or 2 days ago, he was reporting. What's that?
I don't remember that, but okay.
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll remind you here. Don't worry. It's the next topic of conversation after AJ gets his question in. Okay, so you reported that the Broncos were chatting with D'Amico Ryans as close as of the day that he signed with the Texans, trying to get him out of the Texans into the Denver Broncos. And then Shefty came in and said that is not the case. Had not talked to D'Amico this week. They zoned in on Sean Payton. The Texans zoned in on D'Amico. The reason why this is a big deal is just strictly optically to the Broncos fan base and to everybody in the building about what and how this all took place, on whether it's not it's good business or bad business. What are your thoughts on the whole source off that you just had there? And do you wish we would stop bringing it up?
I don't mind people talking about it, just like I don't mind anyone reporting something contradictory to what I said. Like, I mean, I know it's fun to call it a source off, whatever, but for me, like, I reported what I had based on the best information I can get, based on talking to many, many people throughout the course of the last month. And then whatever happens as a result of this, like, I don't really mind. Like, I know people sort of seem like it's me versus Schefter. I don't even think that. It's just I report what I know. He reports what he knows. And then everyone can sort of judge for themselves whichever way to go.
In the interview that Derek Carr gave after the clinic that he put on with Ryan Clark really stole some eyes because Derek Carr makes a joke about the situation he is currently very much in.
On fire. Have you ever been that hot in Las Vegas?
Not that hot. It's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
What a line, Derek. What a line. Incredible line. I think we all know what it is. February 14th or 15th, he's owed over $40 million due to the contract that he's in. He said that he will not be changing that clause in his contract to help facilitate a trade or anything like that. Derek Carr's on the move. Is he going to Tampa Bay after Tom Brady's retirement? Is he going to the Jets? Is he going to the Indianapolis Colts? And I'll tell you what, after what I saw last night, I know that this was something that we all mocked and ridiculed, including me. Let's not put a blue jersey on Derek Carr just yet. Looks like the old boy still got it. Looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder. Look like he's handling all this well.